Hi everyone. My name is Angela. I'm from the DSC team and I'm the personal assistant to the director of the conference. Now I would like to officially announce the start of the next tutorial session. Our next speaker is Radovan Bacovic. He is staff data and engineer at GitLab. He is going to talk about to Slackers by Slacker make data products with the taste of the future. He said, very boring news. Everyone is talking about AI and LLM these days. Experts, smugglers, and ignoramus wants to say something about it. And what is the real truth? Shall AI will leave us without the job, happy or idle, or will boost our productivity at a skyrocketing speed? Also, what our job is tomorrow's world will look like. Let's take a peek into the future together. This tutorial will drive you through the data product lifestyle with one condition. It will give you a flavor of your experience with AI and how it sustains his development process in each of every phase, from planning and coding via managing, building and testing, deploying and security. Let's check the future of building data products. Join Radovan in his clumsy vision of tomorrow's data landscape. So Radovan, if you are ready, you can start.
Yeah, thank you, Angela. I'm always ready. And please, I'm not the most beautiful person in the world, but if you can allow me video, so it would be great if people can see me. I'm not able to start video, but I think I'm able to share my screen, right? Is it okay?
Right, we can see it, yes.
That's beautiful. Just give me a second. And yep, this is fine. Okay, so officially, maybe you can see me, maybe not, but whatever. I'm Radovan Bacovic, staff data engineer at GitLab.com. A little bit awkward title, but what I want to do today and show it to you is just go together to the tool, very popular these days in DevSecOps world. It's called GitLab Duo. Actually, that is what we are using in our daily work to try to speed up our development process. Of course, this is not any kind of magic. It's just a walk through the tool we are using in our daily job. So please, just ground rules for all of you. Repeat, duration may be 1 hour, 30 minutes plus 50 minutes break, Q&A session at the end. Please be muted by default. Anyone you want to ask me, just drop your question in this chat and I will try to answer as soon as possible, either on our break or in Q&A session. Everything what we are doing by default and always will be open source. So feel free to use this afterward and play a bit. This is the web address, so you can easily go there and grab all these materials, including the source code. And of course, do not forget to enjoy this course. When I prepared this course, I really enjoyed. And of course, as this is a series, whatever I'm talking today is not related anyhow with GitLab Incorporated, or its affiliates. It's just my personal opinion. So you can expect a bit more relaxed approach to this tutorial rather than be very, very official and tough. Of course, all information in this presentation are regarding and only for informational purpose, nothing production ready, just a practical use case from my side. Of course, you're doing a great stuff and great data series data products. And where are you on this slide with your DevSecOps journey? I assume you automated many or most of the things. And of course, in this journey, where are you? That is the question you should ask you. And what is your biggest pain point? And which task you think is more inefficient? Is it the managing part? Is it the planning part? Is it the coding part? Is it security, testing, review, scanning, deploying part? Probably there is some pain point for you. And of course, the AI can jump in and try to make things much better and much faster. Of course, what if AI can help you in some of this stage in software development lifecycle? Of course, mainly when you say LLM model and AI or ChatGPT, GitLab Duo, you name it, we're talking about the coding, but it's more than that. It can be also applied for planning part, coding part, and we said security outside of the box, documenting, reviewing, and fast onboarding. Well, what you should expect from our tutorial today, very fun and simple data tutorial with best DevSecOps practice, just to showcase how AI tool can be our trusted really buddy in coding and daily work, not only coding, as we said. And also we want to challenge the power of AI in the current moment to try to sort out some kind of daily problem. It's very simplified for the reason of short tutorial. And also we go end to end to create very small and efficient data application. You can't expect here any kind of magic to sort out all your daily problems. Fully automated self-driving development process, like I'm talking something and code is done for me. Maybe it's like that. But of course, human intervention is still necessarily on this journey. I hope it will not be a boring project just to coding and prompting only, because it's so popular these days. So I will try to avoid as much as possible. Of course, we need to generate some code. And yeah, everyone is talking about modern data application these days. And as we said, we're stick with DevSecOps best practice. Actually, it's something called DataOps in our world. So we go through all software development lifecycle stages in order to create a nice and fancy data product. Our journey is append with something called GitLab Duo. As I said, I'm working in GitLab company and we have DevSecOps platform. And on the top of that, we invented something called GitLab Duo. Actually, it's your buddy and assistant in your DevSecOps journey. Recently, we started using GitLab Duo to create data services and data products. How you can use this? There are plenty of options for that. You can use Web IDE as a part of our tool. You can use Visual Studio Code. Also, you can go inside the issue and use it directly from our product, or my weapon of choice for this tutorial will be PyCharm. I won't say this is the best experience if you use Chat or GitLab Duo, but actually this is what I adopted from and do the thing. Of course, this is our use case, what we want to do. I want to create a very small web application with hello world and set of users, and then try to reproduce the ETL or ELT processing to get the data and get some insights from the data, including testing outside of the box, create automated work, in other words, it's test code or pipelines, then to think about security and link this to improve my code base in Python. Of course, Python is my weapon of choice. It's the language speaking in the data world mainly, and also we'll do the same today. Well, let's start building something. As I said, I create a project upfront in the source folder with main and transform data files. Everything else is for testing of some support. Of course, if something can get wrong, I already have prepared outside of the box working code. This is how I practice everything to be sure everything will go smoothly. Well, I have my README file. And first, I want to create the issue description. And actually, this description is created by AI and GitLab Duo. It means if I want to create a new issue in my project, I want to start building something, I can create a demo title and also can call code here. If I press submit, this LLM model will generate a description for me. I put a very small prompt what I want to build here and actually say, okay, this scenario will do this and that, what actually we talk about. And of course, remark, this was generated by AI. I have already created my sample issue where I can play a little bit and also show you how things are going with that. For this tutorial, I will use a couple of tools and each of them I will explain. If you want to install what is needed, pip install. I need to go one level above. Of course, I did everything up front. Just not forget this part. Fast API is very cool and very nice. One of my favorite weapon of choice if you want to build very robust and very solid RESTful API standalone server. Many things are going outside of the box, batteries included. And in that case, I want to say something like this. And if I go to main, what will happen now? See, GitLab Duo is working on that. And then I will get my prompt. I set the prompt and say, okay, generate fast API application with default endpoint. Then I press tab. I have a default code. If I can check this, Fast API has built-in Unicorn server. So I just want to call main endpoint. I'm not here, sorry. Wrong directory. And I want to go to the source code. and say, okay, unicorn. This is the command unicorn main app reload. It means I will build app server. If I go to localhost API address, I will see it's here. It was very funny. Hello, DSC ADRIA. So this code was generated for me. Of course, this is very naive stuff, and I can do many, many things with that. So I need to move forward and create a little bit more serious pipeline. What is Faker? If you use Python and want to test the data, you need massive fake set of data. Faker is probably something you should consider. And in that case, Faker can generate artificial data based specification. So I already prepared some prompts just to want to waste our time massively and said, okay, I want to generate function to provide 100 users or something. And I will say, okay, I want to use Pydantic model to validate my data. So actually, this is what GitLab Duo generated for me. And of course, I said, I want to generate a fake user. Then, after I create my mockup, I want to call this data, be able to retrieve data using RESTful API. So I said, generate endpoint. It's called get user, and I want to read 100 records with fake data. This is more than enough for the testing. Also, will notify here for country. You see there is Pydantic modeling and check, which also make your life easier. And I said minimum length is 2, maximum length is 2 for country. Probably this will be mnemonic. We can extend this one later. Probably this will fail. And also, this is a sample. Then, if I go here and go to docs, you will see outside of the box fast API documentation. That's also one of the good and nice features for fast API because you have documentation and testing stuff like Swagger outside of the box automatically. If I want to try out my demo, I will see my message. If I want to do the same for get user endpoint and try it out, no parameters, nothing, just execute it. Here is my result and code is 200. It means everything is good, everything is nice. Well, in my tutorial, I can do also an optional thing and generate a doc string for some of these users. So actually, let's stop a bit and see what GitLab Duo did for us. It generated two very primitive, simple endpoint along with the user class. It provided sample data. And we said, okay, we want 100 fake data to the endpoint. And of course, this code is far away from perfection, but we will talk about it later, what we can do. And also, GitLab Duo will not generate only the full unit for you or one piece of code. It also can go in details and fix just small part of code or get explanation. I want to say general doc string for a function with an example. And here you can see the sign, how it's doing, and say yes. So it's not perfect, of course, but actually I have outside of the box ready documentation for me. This was my mistake. So I want to lint it a bit. And this looks much better. Also, if I go here, automatically I will have my endpoint. Well, that's fine for now. Next stuff is to move from web application to try to do some ETL or ELT processing. I need to go to transform data unit. This main actually is done and it stay like it is with some small intervention later on, just to make this more beautiful and more nice with higher quality. Well, I want to use request library and download data from my endpoint. I prepared this prompt upfront to make our life easier, and also said, okay, whatever I get from that endpoint, I want to save as a JSON file. So this is my downloaded data. Also, if I'm lazy, as I am, I also want to ask for more documentation here. So I want to write sorry. There's my previous prompt. I want to generate doc string, for example, and say, okay, boom. And also want to have a comprehensive guideline, actually what my function is doing in this situation, with some examples, of course. I think this will be fine. Well, what I want to do next is to transform the data from JSON. My RESTful API is coming in JSON file format. CSV is more readable for me. So also this prompt is a little bit longer. then I want to do comprehensive function creation to do the thing for you. So actually, I want to load the JSON from the file I already downloaded, which is fine. Don't spend too much time on that. Then I want to convert everything to CSV from JSON. So I download the JSON, open the JSON, and flatten it. What is interesting here, this is some kind of, can be more complex code with an example. And then I think also GitLab Duo is able to do this in a proper way. I don't like this approach. We can fix it later, but still I think it will do a work for us. Well, I need to save my file after flattening from JSON to CSV, and also I want to define the structure. Now we are talking about the more structured role from JSON, like semi-structured data, to table or CSV file, like fully structured data. So it comes with the columns called ID, first name, last name, and country. If I copy and paste this code, let's see what's going on. It will save CSV into the file as specified. Then, cherry on the top, is about DuckDB. DuckDB is a really great modern tool, like a local database you can use for analytic purpose. And also, I want to get CSV file and load data in DuckDB. See here. So DuckDB will allow you to do a SQL statement on the top of either Parquet file, CSV file, table you created. It can be in memory, it can read from files, etc., etc. Then what I'm doing here, I get the data from endpoint, save it, load it, flatten, do some very primitive transformation, and then save it again as output in CSV file. Then I speak with DuckDB and said, okay, I want to load these users and I want to create some very humble top countries report and limit it to file. And in this case, I can conclude, okay, looks like this is nice and this is pretty much accurate. Depends what I need. Well, there is only one way to do this. As I have a couple of functions here, I just want to connect the dots and create something I can go from stage to stage. And also this transformation data provides me the flow, how I can do everything from end to end. Of course, as I'm in Python, this is far away from the production setup, but we can say, okay, I want to enter main point just to call my file. And it will call transform the data. Stop a bit here. Our job is not done yet. What I'm doing, I'm done with the initial way of coding. I have the code. Probably it's working, probably it's not perfect, probably there is some bugs and things like that. What I can do here to improve the code? I can refactor the code, that's the first step, and then I can create a test cases. And GitLab Duo can help me here. You see, the most effort is going to create a prompt in a proper way. And coding, of course, it's always fun, but sometimes you can speed up the development. Just the most important thing is to have idea. Well, what I can do, I can go to main, select my code for main, and say GitLab Duo chat, generate tests. And this is working. And AI creates test cases for me. Probably it will do in a good way. Last time I checked it, it was okay. And for each of these functions, it will be covered by test. As I said, this provides me a unit test. I don't want to do that. I want to do using PyTest library. Also, I can create file. Prompt here, generate test cases for above code and functions using PyTest instead. I don't want to use unit test, okay? And then GitLab Duo is working. I would say, okay, this is what I need. Of course, GitLab Duo is not smart yet at the moment, I think, nor any additional tool to split everything in separate files. So I will do it a little bit manually. And this is my code. Of course, generate fake user is from another file now. So I would say from main import generate get users, generate fake user. So nice. And what I can do is run it as a PyTest. Python test and test main while. And let's see what's going on. Oh. Actual ID. Fail, assertion error. So it's not good. Well, let's see what's going on here. Length of user is there. Probably this is proper. Not yet. User one. User. Okay. Ah, yeah. This is not good enough. So we can fix this one. And in that case, you need to iterate on your code to make this perfect. So I would say without this, probably this should work properly. Yes. Okay, let's see what I have in my main test. It's a little bit different. This is what I generated automatically from scratch. I would say here. So from the first iteration, nothing will be perfect. You should iterate and move it forward to find one by one. But anyway, my suggestion here is to go and create your test cases, then improve it using AI. Or if you're too lazy, you can do everything from the scratch. Personally, I want to rely only to trust the AI. I will just do a comprehensive approach, like combination of my personal work and what AI can provide to me. So actually, in a few iterations, what I can do is to have more test cases with more specific prompts to get actually what I need and to test valid and invalid users. If I run this one more time, as I said, this is a result of a couple of iterations, I'll have my test cases. Not so good, not so bad, which is okay. And then if I go to transform the data, let's see what my code is doing. I will go, let's say, reload my application server one more time. It's working fine. And if I go to another terminal, I will go to source code. And I have transform data. I can call Python free or even Python and transform the data. Yeah. See, if I call it, I have the top 5 countries from DuckDB, and it said only US 100. And it means transformation is completed. This is actually a message I see at the end. What is the problem here? Problem is with user. When you specify in main test cases for user, country was probably only US, or it said fake user is just John Doe from US. How I can verify what's going on? I can see a list of users. So this part is also not so good. We need a few more iterations to increase this. And you see what to download. It's called users.json file. Of course, this is my flattened file. This doesn't make too much sense. And then I also can go to main and say, okay, I don't want fake users like this. I can go here and see what is my procedure said here. So I will command this and I can say, okay, where is my prompt? Again and again and again. Generate fake user, generate fake user. And do it again. Let's see what will happen this time. We need to increase quality of code here. Oh, random string, can be good. And it said user. Probably this should be better. If I call it again, well, This makes sense. What makes me mad? I don't want to see countries like this. I want to see countries like something more. And if I go here and say fake country instead of this, join random choice, ask the upper case. Okay. Or even better, I can use what I trust 100% will be fine. In this, this, and I want to delete my bad function. Here. Test is passing fine. One more time. Okay. Yes. I can do it again. Test is passing. And my transformation is doing. I want to keep it, not waste too much time about this country. But anyway, what is the main point here? You can easily do a fine tuning about country or any other column. Here, now, if I go and verify what my code is doing, it will be a bit different. And also CSV file is a bit more better look than before. Still, I'm not satisfied with this. And what I can do is go here and paste what I need from original few iteration code. But let's not do it now. Let's focus on the other stuff, what we can improve here. Of course, we create a code which is not most beautiful in the world with prompts and everything else. What we can do. If I go to main and select the full entire code and want to make it beautiful and smarter, I can go and say, okay, refactor the code. In this chat, GitLab Duo will support my intention to increase the code quality and reorganize this. What is good stuff here? We have test cases. We always can run it. We always can test it, and we can be sure AI will not screw up our work. And also, you can see the list of improvements. Let's give it a try. And our application server is restarting. If you go here, we can ensure it's working fine. If you do /docs, we can run our test cases. Boom. Not good, not bad. I'm still pissed off with this, but we can improve it later on down the road. So our code is improved. Our test cases are generated. We always can check it and call them to see what's going on. Everything passed fine. Of course, there is also one more file with taking care about data transformation here. And also we need to improve this a little bit. We can do the same stuff here, git do chat, and refactor the code. Meanwhile, I will go and find my prompt to create a test cases. As I said, I don't want to use unit test. My weapon of choice and preference is to use PyTest. By default, this provides some unit test. This is still working, can be slow sometimes. And also I will give a prompt to GitLab Duo to generate the test cases for me. So actually we will cover test our main Python code and also transform data Python file, sorry. And everything should be covered by test generated by AI automatically, which is a very handy feature, can speed up your development. This is going. As I said, PyCharm is not the best tool sometimes to do together with GitLab Duo. As I said, there are plenty of options you can do, up to you and your preferences. This is what I like to use and how. So actually do the thing for me. Let's wait a bit. Of course, after I refactor the code, I will create test cases, and then I can ask for explanation regarding my code. This is what I don't like here. And I found it's a bit faster in Web IDE rather than just here. So what I can do to speed things up is whatever we're doing here in transform, I can say project is done, what is needed, and commit and push the messages and the code actually to my merge request. From merge request, I see my change. I can go directly here and open it in Web IDE. Web IDE will do the same for me. I don't like this. I want to be in more formatted way. And if I go here to source and transform the data, say, select it and say, okay, I want to refactor code. And this, because it's natively communicated properly with GitLab Duo, will do much faster. And it's working on the answer. Last time when I created this, it was much better. You can see here how code is generated. Of course, you can go slowly, iterate the process, or cover function per function. As I said, this is a very simple stuff, so we can do everything at once to speed things up. This is big. And after your prompt is done, you also from the tool, you will get explanation what is improved. So actually, you can learn a lot from this one. See? Code is here, it's more beautiful, and also you can understand how and what should be and what is already fixed for you. So this is the way how I can speed things up. I can do the same, call the code, and it's here. Of course, with this one, I can select the code and try to do a testing. Of course, this will be much faster than PyCharm. And the problem is it's unit testing. I don't want to do that. I want PyTest. Well, let's go back to my prompting. And I said for transformation of data, I will do this. In addition to the file, I said general test cases using PyTest library for functions, download data, load, JSON convert, save, and load the data. Then it's working for me. And yes, I accept that. And in the file I created, I can say from transform data, import. I can wait a bit and see how this will improve or what it will be done. You can say download the data, load JSON, import JSON, etc. Also, convert to CSS. This is just because I save everything in a different file, but and import doc.db. Let me run this. and see what's going on. My typo. Let's see what can I drag in here. Yep. I don't need anymore. No. Nothing is missing. This is a problem, I think. No. Okay, this is a problem, so you should iterate on this part and do the thing manually with full understanding what's going on. So this file and this test cases are fully covered. If I run PyTest for entire project with this suffix, I will see everything is passed. This error here is not directly related to our test, it's just warning information about validation in didactic model, what we defined in our main here. So this is good as of now. Why? What we did, create a web server application here with hello world as a dummy point and dummy entry point and users with test case. We generate testing for each of these stage in our ETL or ELT processing, including web application outside of the box with using GitLab Duo. Also, from extract the data, transform the data, load the data into DuckDB and show the data, okay, this time in console, but it can be something more fancy like Streamlit or any kind of other reporting tool by your choice. We generated our test cases. So our small piece of code and very small project is almost done. Of course, we are not there yet. We need to ensure many other things, and we will do it after the break. But as of now, what is super important for you to remember? AI, as you see, is not silver bullet for any kind of solution. It's just a great assistant in my case. It can't hit the proper answer all the time. Most of the time it's okay, especially if you want to build a skeleton for your application, or if you need to do a deep dive and do a fine-tuning for some details. Then you should ensure you have a testable code. And also this forces you to create a really good practice code base and stick with the best experience. This is, I think it's good to have the tool like this because you can easily discover, this is what I need for testing, or here, this is what can be improved in my code. No hard feeling. This is experience from many developers, and also this model is learning a lot. You can see how your code looks like, and it looks really, really good. Of course, you can make it better, especially if you focus on detail. But general story about this is, yeah, we can do a lot with help of AI. This is endless discussion. Should AI replace us, or it will be great value for us, or it will get it down the road, whatever. It's up to you to have your own opinion. For me, it helped me a lot to create a very humble ETL processing along with this web application. And of course, what should I do here is, if I don't understand some piece of code, my tool can help me here. Oh, why I do this? It can explain for me what code is doing. If you're not familiar with SQL or DuckDB, you can define this one and ask for explanation. And chat will find the answer. And it said selected code defines function. This function can load data from CSV, do some SQL statement, group country by countries from the user data, fetch all records, and show it on the console or out. Then connection has been closed. So this is a very detailed explanation what DuckDB is doing. I would say, among many other things, this is a great tool for you for learning. If you're not familiar with Python, or we can write a C or C++, Golang or whatever, Ruby on Rails, you can ask for explanation and then you can see what's going on. That's also, I would say, a really nice feature and good takeaway about benefits and leveraging usage of AI, despite the choice and tool you're using in your daily life. Here, let's do a short recap one more time. Web application, ETL processing, testing outside of the box, everything covered with PyTest in our case, and the things is trying to be out. What we can do next? We can automate the thing to make our life easier. We will build a pipeline to test the code, to take care about security, to improve code with linters. Even we refactor the code automatically, just to be sure we have a high standard for our code base, and also automated tool, don't think about that. Using DevSecOps best practice, these should be automated with pipelines and very small, a few lines of code with definition, actually what we want to do and what we want to check. AI can help us here a lot. In that case, let's take a 15 minutes break so we can continue 5 to 3, and we can jump into this automation part of this beautiful creation, the data project. As of now, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. And after the break, in 15 or 70 minutes now, 5 to 3, we can continue. I will stop sharing and I will be here. If you have any question, we can discuss it now. So please, whatever you want to ask, drop your question in chat or verbalize it here. Up to you. Is it okay?
Okay, we can take a break and see you in 50 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot. Okay, we are back, right? Can we continue?
We continue.
Okay, great. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you refresh a bit and you're ready for the last round of explanation and walkthrough about creating data products by a lazy guy like me. What I did here, try to improve the code during our break and make a much more meaningful data. So I just said for fake user, okay, generate fake user data only for that piece of function, nothing else. And I got something like this. And if I run my code, it's going fine because now you see the real name of the country. And of course, with just one prompt, I'm able to improve the data instead of random number, random alphanumerical characters. I get the real first name, last name, and country, and especially users coming from one to something. So if you go here and use the JSON, you will see it makes more sense with fake but not artificial name, surname, and country. Also, if you go to, where is my CSV? You see this looks like any normal data set. So that's the way how we prove this one. Also, what I can do, I try to do is 1,000 or 10,000 10K records. Probably this will fail, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. It's going fine because data is grouped on the level of 10K records. So this application also can handle that. For anything more serious, like 1, 10 millions to generate test cases, be more careful and design your application in a much better way. That's it for now regarding just the coding part. We need to think about a few more stuff about our application, and it's about security scan and test. Recently, GitLab announced something in their pipeline, and if you're using GitLab or GitHub, you have CI YAML file. And it's fairly easy to just use templating and define the stages, like I have testing and I have lead. And inside the test, just call something from template. It is security/stats GitLab CI YAML. It means I will inherit the best security checks, standards, and practice for my application. In other words, if you go and see in the documentation of GitLab what means SAST testing, it says static application security testing, which languages are supported in which version of GitLab, and actually what does it mean for you. You can see the features and you can see how with one line of code outside of the box, you can use best practice. So I incorporated this pipeline as a part of my security testing. I put it in test stage, but it can be security or something. Then also, what is important to know, I include rough linters, my favorite tool these days, just to check the quality and linting of my code. And it's faster than Linting. So also I can save some money and processing power when I'm running the pipeline. And then I run a PyTest to see how successful is my test. And of course, as per criteria and rules I predefine, this will run probably when I push my code to remote repository or remote server. What is also good to know, whenever I'm doing that, I don't need JSON, I said check pipeline, commit, and push the code. It will run immediately. So this is my pipeline running. You can see stage here, and you can linters here. So this is my pipeline. Of course, you can see everything here. Inside your pipeline, you can put whatever you want, but for this purpose, you just go and see linters and test. So always, whenever you're creating any kind of application, either is data application, software, mobile, web, whatever, think about security. And also think there are tools on the open source sky or on the market can speed up everything for you and keep you very, very secure. So these SAS testing are done in one line of code. If you go see and test what's going on, I protect my code with this stuff. And my executor is running, my pipeline is running, everything is going the same for PyTest and also for linters. For RAF, I try to combine two versions, 3.10 and 3.9 Python. And see, it's still running. Testing is green for PyTest. It means my tests are passing automatically. You can see everything here, and it's 100% success. For SAS testing, also you see at the end here, it's green. So there is no more problem with my security at the moment, and it's going outside of the box. Well, what else you can do here is going to chat. I want to clear this from. And also I want to communicate with my tool to give the best DevSecOps practice, especially about the security. So I can ask him, tell me the way I can add security Python-based pipeline in GitLab. So this piece of code was generated automatically using GitLab Duo. And then GitLab Duo tried to find answer from me. And this is stick with DevSecOps practice, which is also good to know. It's not a general purpose AI. It's more like DevSecOps based AI. Here, you can easily see what we are talking about. And also you can see more stage, build, test, security scan, and deploy. With deployment means, okay, you can deploy your code to stage development or production. Then you can also ask GitLab to give me an example for this, but actually I got the example here. Previously, I need to ask, okay, explain me this, then give me one example. And then I got the code, which I can paste inside my application, and I can automate the things. So always think about that. And actually, this is how I teach for my answer. Give me an example of CI pipeline for security testing. So it's not only about coding and testing, it's also about security. And this is outside of the box. See, I'm not super happy with this answer because I asked for example, I got something else. But luckily, I can iterate, and anyway, in the first iteration, I got mock-up for this. Far away from production, as I said, it's Python 3.7. I expect it will be 3.9 at least, 3.10, 3.11. Everything else here regarding the stage are more than good. Of course, this is just a skeleton because for deployment, you need to type your own setting and everything else. Well, where is my README? So this is an exercise how you can discover more about automating your work. Well, as you said, it's not only about the coding, it's also about the communicating with your tool or get summarized about something. When I create this sample issue, you see description was generated automatically by AI. GitLab do chat in this case to provide me the detail about what I want to build for you today. If you have endless discussion, I just put some dummy comments here. What I plan to do, what's my use case, is this boring, is this not boring? I can view summary. And what does it mean? It will pick up all of my comments, which is not very, I don't know, innovative today, and provide me the plans, what I want to do, or what is the resume of our discussion. Of course, this is not a real discussion, it's artificial comments, like one keep, but actually this summary can be done for you and can be repeated. So instead of going through endless discussion in your favorite tool for managing PR, you can just do a summary. On the top of that, GitLab Duo Chat will be here to support you on your DevSecOps journey. And it means any kind of help, even with the code review, even with the test, even with explanation, can do for you. For instance, if your SAS test find one vulnerability, then it can be explained in very plain text language for you. Or if your pipeline failed, you can see the explanation. So, Rob. See, it failed. I can copy paste it and put it in GitLab chat. But let's fix this. I can see my code is not in a good shape because Raf failed. And I can do a local test. I think it's minus fix, not sure. But anyway. Looks better now. And what I need to do is just I want to fix Raf. I will commit it, push it to a remote repo, and immediately I will see the change in my merge request. Of course, you will notify this at the moment to start immediately to run another pipeline. So again, PyTest, SAS test, and Raf leading. If I go here, we can track what's going on, but expect this will be successful this time. So generally, this is a brief story. I don't want to bother with many details. How we are using AI in our work, how we try to improve our code, and also how we want to have a really good assistant in any kind of or any stage of development, software development process life cycle. As I said, still many of these features are experiment, but this is today and it will be a future. This is how I see that. Pace of development is fast, and I think it's satisfied. On the other side, not all the time, all answers are provided on high quality. You need to dig deeper, you need to iterate, as my t-shirt said, to make actually what you want. So sometimes it's not enough just to create a very complex prompt with many details. You need to go deep and pay attention in each and every line of the code you want to improve. Of course, great benefit is about testing. I'm a huge fan of testing, especially automated everything. So with few clicks, you're very, very close to have a beautiful code and also have fully coverage of tests. Then I want to move to discussion now with you, or just to expose my thoughts on this, just to see what Raf has to say to us. This machine is still warming up, and then one more time, see everything is green. It means you have really automated setup. You can easily check your code. You can collaborate with your team members because you define your rules once and you can run it many, many times. And these tools or this set of rules are applicable for any kind of change in any merge request. It's up to you to decide. Also, you can add more criteria when you want to execute pipelines, how you want to deploy it, what kind of test you want to run, etc., etc. Let's give a few more seconds to this machine. And yes, for Python 3.10 and Python 3.9 respectively, everything is good, everything is success. So you can easily create a matrix for that. So we can say, okay, our code is good. If you go one more time to our diagram here before we move to recap, we will see what we done. In the first part, web application, ETL processing, and testing. Here, security, testing, and linting. So outside of the box, we have a comprehensive application, if it's new and very small, just for testing purpose, and can do end-to-end stuff for you, which I think is beautiful. Yeah? Of course, if I can give my 2 cents and recapitulation of this discussion or experiment, what went well? Definitely it can speed up development rapidly, and development speed and pace, and can do many boring things for us. Of course, you should stick and you should learn from AI because you can see what the best practice is and you're able to learn from it. You can isolate and improve only piece of problem, which you personally like as a use case. If I'm stuck at some piece of code, maybe for some skeleton initially, I need help of AI. I don't want to do that. And also if I drill down and go deeper in the problem, I want to see and just put the spotlight on the problematic piece of code also can support me well. Plus, I have a really good supportive staff in any kind or any stages of the developer life cycle. What didn't go well? You saw it in action. This domain is still narrow. There is no full understanding of the context or comprehensive overview. How can do a solution? How can fix the issue for you? And probably it's not best to work with multiple file or packages, so avoid any complex situation. Just focus on maximum one file. This is not still accurate to rumble with large-scale problems. As I said, if you want to have a laser focus on one function or set of functions or one functionality, which is actually very small, feel free to use it as much as possible. This is sometimes time wasting because, okay, development process is fast, but your prompts should be very comprehensive and very go deep in details, and it can be time consuming. Plus, you should know what you're doing and what you expect, in which way to construct each. It can be language specific because, okay, Python has very specific set of construction for some problem solving skills. C or C++ or Golang is using a different way, or Ruby is doing something else. So that part should be improved in the future. That is what I think. What we should start doing, I would say, focus on small improvements to make code better and stick with one particular problem and solve problem one by one. Use it as a side assistance, not only for coding, as I said, but also for security, for testing, and for automation of the boring stuff. So you can wrap up and include it in full development process. You can use a summary to shorten time for market or understanding the process of the issue. If you're dealing with many issues like I'm doing daily for my daily job, I need to read a lot and also need to answer a lot and respond a lot. This can be a great help. What we should stop doing with this, I would say you will avoid put a full control to create module without verification, like we start initially, like, okay, this is a main module or this is a transformation module and here is the data. Even it's a test, probably it's not the best answer on solving how you should sort out your problems. And do not blindly accept all suggestions. You saw many fake results, many hallucinations from time to time, especially when we're dealing with users. Okay, it can be better, and after 2-3 iterations, I got really what I need, and try avoid creating a Frankenstein of your code. So actually, this is my 2 cents about this experiment, let's say. No magic, just a good tooling and very wise way how we can look into the future and what future will look like for our, let's say, daily work in our development process. And please do not forget, everyone can contribute. Feel free to use this kind of tool. I won't say this is bad, this is good. It's up to you. So everyone can contribute to any tool, and also you can put your insights. I'm more than happy to discuss with you. Of course, as I said, I'm not the most beautiful person in the world. There's no video of me, but if you scan this QR code, you can find me on LinkedIn. Mainly I'm there, and I'm more than eager, as I said, to discuss with you, to provide you more information, more detail. There are plenty of documentation about the tool and actually approach how you could use this. It's smarter and smarter every day. So feel free to ping me, and I want to hear also from community, what is your opinion on this? Maybe I'm completely wrong about this, or we can open discussion about any kind of topic related about how to create a data product and what is the view of the future for you. Maybe your vision is different than mine, but still, I'm more than eager to hear your voice on this. So I can't say more before I close this part, except thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed as much as I can. This is third time in a row I attend DSC ADRIA Zagreb or online, and more than happy to share my experience with you. I think, dear administrator, we can open some questions here. If anyone from the audience want to ask anything, I'm more than happy with that, because official part, I would say, we are done with that, right? So any question, drop in chat, verbalize it, or administrator can ask me. Up to you.
Are there any questions for Radovan?
Yeah. Okay, then. One more time, just thank you, everyone. I will be in Zagreb starting from Thursday. You can find me there, and we can discuss in person if you're more prepared that way. Thank you very much, organizers, and have a great day. I hope you will join the further workshops. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your time, Radovan. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. That's it for today. So see you tomorrow. Goodbye.